Welcome guys, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. Got a driver head-to-head for you here today, and it's the Titleist TS3, and I'm going to put it up against the Callaway Rogue Sub-Zero. So two of the sort of meatier drivers here in terms of the lower spin models. A little bit more maybe distance here, possibly aiming towards slightly better player, but still both pretty forgiving drivers. Going to put these head-to-head. I've got GC2 HMT set up here. Give you my personal feedback on looks, feel between these two drivers. We'll look at some data, see how they are performing against each other, and possibly see which one comes out on top. Okay, so we're going to kick off with the Callaway Rogue Sub-Zero driver to start with. So Sub-Zero is obviously the more lower spinning option here. We've got two screws on the sole, one positioned at the back, one positioned at the front of the head nearest to the club face. And obviously we have two different weighted screws. So with this heavier screw positioned at the front, which I've got this set at, makes it a little bit more lower spinning, a little bit more sort of powerful in its ball flight. Still got jailbreak technology we've seen in the other Rogue, and obviously the Epic driver here. So the two titanium rods behind the club face, creating a little bit of stability, a bit more ball speed. Composite titanium mix, and quite a nice, well, I think a very nice look behind that golf ball. Sits lovely behind the ball, and this is a club that I've had in my bag in the past, and it has been, very much enjoyed using. Let's get this first one hit. Lovely. Nice opening tee shot there. Whoa, wowzers. Must have had porridge for breakfast. That was 328. Wowzers. That's one of the longest drives I've hit for a long time there. That was a very good start with the Rogue. Okay, so that was some start with the Rogue. Going to be pretty hard to sort of keep on that, I think. That's the longest drive I've hit for a long, long time there, but that's encouraging there. Let's get this next one hit. Yeah, that one won't be 300. Okay, so that was a little bit heely there. Just peel that up the right hand side. Not the greatest of strikes. Yeah, there we see a little drop off straight away. That's purely just through strike. 276 carry, run out 295. So just want to maybe just show you those two shots there, just really a case of how important strike really is. So we'll look at the first one there at 116, 115.9, so identical. Ball speed pretty much identical. Their launch just fractionally different. Look at that spin number, big difference, a good sort of 1200 revs difference there. So the carry at 300 against 276, so 24 yards difference of carry. Now let's have a look at the strikes here. So that was the first one there, so slightly toe. Okay, delivery 1.9 up, 1.4 from the inside, face just slightly open to that. Okay, so that was all right. That created an 1800 spin. Then that shot there, you can see slightly low heel. Okay, again, 1.7 on the way up, one from the inside, face slightly open, so nothing really changed drastically there, but strikes changed to give a 1200 spin difference and a 24-yard drop off. Okay, so just wanted to show you that really there, guys, because I think that does make a huge difference of numbers when sort of doing these tests and reviews and comparisons. That strike does make a difference, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, I'm human, I'm going to miss my strike like I've just done there, and that's a big difference between those spin numbers there, the distances, maybe even the shot dispersion from that slight draw, slight toe strike to a heel strike, which gave me that sort of cutty and higher spinning sort of shot there. So, you know, speed isn't always the key here, so obviously strike is a very important part of this. Okay, let's give this third one a hit. Okay, that should be pretty long. I mean, that's slightly up the high side of the club face. There we go. That's an absolute bomber. 332, wow. Honestly, I've not been working out. Okay, so that's just 1700 spin there. Definitely struck that higher in the face. We know that's going to pull spin off there, and that's an absolute bomber. It's a lovely ball flight, very penetrating there. Slightly that left side, but again, that's another good health hit. This is unbelievable. 324 there. So, as I say, I've had this in the bag before and I've really enjoyed it. I love the look of it. I love the sound of it. Those numbers are great. It's going long. Okay, it could be a little bit more accurate. That's more me than the actual club, to be fair, to sort of work on. But some very sort of healthy numbers there with the Sub-Zero. That's a cracker. Yeah, that's absolutely lovely. God, it's long again. Wowzers. Okay, a little bit up that left-hand side, but some very long hits there. So let's move into the Titleist TS2. I'll tell you what, that has got its work out here to keep up with that Rogue, but let's see what TS3 does. Okay, so now got the Titleist TS3 in our hands here. So 460cc head, it's a little bit more of a different shaping against TS2, so a little bit more sort of shorter from front to back here. Very beautiful looking golf club, sits very square, black gloss finish, very nice, very traditional sort of looking. So no composite mix in this, it's all titanium, yet Titleist have shaved the crown here by up to 27% lighter compared to the 917 version. So doing a similar sort of thing as the Rogue here, but let's get this first one hit, TS3. That's a solid opening hit, very different on the sound of it. Just done a recent video, TS2 against just the standard Rogue, and the sound difference was very, very different there. And again, this is exactly the same here. So without that composite, a bit more of a slightly tinnier sound, but not obviously a bad sound there. It's a lovely sort of solid crack to it, really. So not a bad opening start with the TS3, little 312 yarder. Let's see if it's got anything in the 320s like the Rogue. Okay, that's dragged. Okay, that's a poor swing from me. Strike wasn't too bad, but just a little bit of a poor swing for me, a little bit of low left, which tends to be my little bit of a bad shot, to be honest, at the moment. So a little bit off line there, 309 yards. Yeah, lovely. Good strike, good shape. That was a better hit, that one. That's trundled out there. There we go, 324. Okay, so that's a decent one there with the TS3. So both these drivers have got adjustable necks, as we know, with a sure fit with the Titleist and obviously the Callaway. Similar sort of concept really, with a couple of movable sleeves there, which allows you to dial in sort of loft, lie, and a little bit of face angle there as well. So lots of adjustability in both these drivers. I've got both these set as around that sort of 9-degree mark. I've got both of them in an even flow and both in an X-Flex. Slightly different even flow shafts here, but this is as close as I could get them spec-wise, but they are both in an X-Flex. Okay, let's get this 4-shot hit. Yeah, again, super flat. Just working at that left-hand side slightly again, but super hit. Definitely got the rights to lefts going a little bit today, 324 again there. Maybe just need to work a little bit on my right to left, try and control that a tiny bit more. It's a good strike. It's a lovely feel off the face with this, definitely. Just a nice sound, nice feel. 315 there, see a little bit up the right, didn't want that one to go left, obviously. Okay, so there's 2 clubs hit there, a little bit of dispersion issues, but obviously that's a little bit more me maybe than the club. But let's look at some numbers, a little bit more detail between TS3 and Rogue Sub-Zero. Okay, so quick look at the dispersion rings there. So the red one's Sub-Zero, white one is a TS3, so pretty similar, maybe a little bit tight with Sub-Zero there, a little bit more of a either straight or slightly left, where TS3 had left and right and a straight. So a little bit maybe edging towards Sub-Zero there. Okay, then looking at numbers here, so 116, pretty identical on club head speed. Ball speed there, just fractionally quicker with TS3, which was interesting. Launching a little bit lower TS3. They are very similar off within about 0.25 of a degree here, but that's not going to change it by 2 degrees of launch. But so a little bit lower launching there with TS3 against Sub-Zero. Spin number 2.1 against 2.2, just under 2.3. So a little bit low spinning there with Sub-Zero by a fraction, but both very good numbers to be fair. 34 peak height Sub-Zero, 31 TS3. 294 against 290 carry. Okay guys, so there's TS3 against Sub-Zero. So for me, two very, very good drivers. Obviously we've seen some good numbers with the TS product from Titleist, which has just been launching quite recently as I'm shooting this video. Rogue's obviously been out all season for 2018, Sub-Zero but being a very, very sort of popular driver. So I think looking at those sort of performance there, I think look-wise, I'm sort of torn between the two in looks. I do love the look of both of them, to be honest. Very clean looking in the TS3. Obviously, we've seen the graphics on the Rogue there. Not much to cut it in between those two in terms of looks. Sound and feel, again, I enjoy both, to be honest, but they're both very sort of different. And I probably just edged slightly Rogue there. I do like that sort of more muted sound I get with the composite and titanium sort of mix there. In terms of numbers, I like that little bit lower spinning. Both very similar numbers there, to be fair, but I like that slightly higher launch, lower spin, which is where those distance numbers just got a little bit more out of it with Rogue against the TS3 there. But both, again, really sort of good numbers. So probably just edging towards the Sub-Zero for me. Like I say, I've gamed that before. Possibly could go back in the bag there after maybe seeing those numbers. Maybe just to work on that a little bit more accuracy more than anything now. Obviously it's great hitting those longer distance, but you need to be hitting fairways at the same time, which is obviously very important, if not more important really. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts between those two drivers, guys, or if there's any other videos you'd like me to try and do. Again, fire your comment in the section down below. If you haven't followed my social media platforms, again, all the links are in the description down below. Very much appreciated. Still offering online lessons, which a lot of you guys are taking me up on, and we do some great work with a lot of guys across the world there. So, you know, again, there's a link in the description down below. You can go and have a look at that, a little bit more detail on what it's all about. If you haven't subscribed, appreciate you doing so, and hit that bell icon so any new videos land on the channel, you'll be the very first ones to watch it, and hopefully we'll catch up you all very soon.